So, when last left off, you guys had made it to the city of Osla, where you were in pursuit of a man named Arthur Sin, who was in charge of the Dextros wing of Iron Solutions. You successfully tracked him down, killed him, and then, after killing him, you took his appearance, stole his wheelchair,
Yes.
and went to the casino, where you pretended to be him and get a room. You then ordered some entertainment, and instead some muscle arrived who you easily, not persuaded, you tricked them. Well, is it really?
No, there was a huge misunderstanding.
Yeah, it was a huge misunderstanding. They thought you were Arthur Sin, when in actuality you were Octavian. So
Yes.
they were like, "Oh, my apologies," and left. Then the real entertainment showed up. You had your fun with them. Then you contacted the Green Dragon, Craw.
Yes,
through
through
your
dreams.
and learned that he'd be interested in being friends with you if you could free him from his overbearing mother.
And Tiamat.
Huh?
And Tiamat, right?
Oh, Tiamat. I thought you said TMI. I was like, what?
No, it was his mother and Tiamat.
Yes,
right?
it was his mother and the group they're associated with that worships Tiamat.
Was the mother the black dragon? Or is she another green dragon?
Let me check.
Or was the black dragon a completely different person?
Hold on. I can check it. I can tell you in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I can tell you in 2 seconds.
Because I know he was under the control of the black dragon. Like, he was doing what the black dragon wanted him to do.
Oh, no. The black dragon was just a member of the group they were part of. His mother is a green dragon.
Okay, alright.
Okay. So, after that, you met with the leader of the casino, Firemane.
Yes.
Who said that he'd be interested in not hiring your services, but if you were getting rid of Iron Solutions, it'd be benefiting him and the local gangs.
Yes.
Better the evil that you know and all that, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. You then went to a local... You went a little shopping spree. You didn't buy much. You mostly went to gather information where you arrived at the Broken Horse. I believe that's what it was called.
I don't have notes. Yeah, I didn't write that down either.
It's fine. I have everything written down. I just need to find it. Where is it? Oh, it's not in here. Is this it? Nope, that's an old tavern. Oh, wait. I'm in the wrong section. It was called... Yeah, it was the Broken Horse. All right. Where you met with the owner. He vented his frustrations about Iron Solutions taking his money and said that they were coming to collect any time now and that he was not going to pay. To which two of the members of Iron Solutions arrived. You were told they were Iron Solutions, so you proceeded to beat them into unconsciousness. Before knocking the final one out, they gave you the information that their Arthur Sin, the one who was in charge of this city, had just received some reinforcements and was somewhere in the warehouse district.
Oh.
And that's where we left off. So, you guys are in the Broken Horse. There are now 2 unconscious bodies. The owner and his daughter look very concerned. What would you like to do?
I would like to formally apologize for staining your nice wood floors with these people's blood and spit, and possibly piss.
The gentleman goes, it's fine. But Are you going to do anything with them, or are we going to have to...
We can do things with them. We can get them out of your hair.
Well, that would be appreciated, because if they wake up and they have any inclination of starting trouble, my daughter and I aren't capable of fighting.
It's fine. We'll get rid of them. We have all the information we need. Iron solutions won't be a problem for you much longer.
Very well. And he goes, if you're ever in town, a free room and drink on the house.
Thank you. Mars,
Yes.
could you be a dear and pick up these 2 unconscious loafs and help me take them out to the outside? We need to brainstorm on what to do with their unconscious bodies.
All right. I can handle that. Mars might, like, just now be starting to sober up, probably.
All right. So where would you like to take them?
We could hang them from a tree.
You do know...
Not
By their underwear.
Not like not like by a noose. I'm not saying kill them.
Yeah, I
I'm
was about
saying
to
like
say, you don't want
string
to
them
kill
up
them.
in a
Dude.
tree.
You don't want to kill them.
Just string them up in a tree, or something. I don't know. We could stick them in a barrel in a back alley.
Whatever you'd like to do.
Ooh, Mars, I have an idea. Let's stick them in a barrel in a back alleyway. Find a barrel, and then find a cart that's transporting barrels, and stick those barrels with their carts, and then let's see where they end up.
You know, for once, I think I like your devious ideas.
Right? That's...
Sounds like a pretty
Yes.
fun idea.
I think it sounds like a great idea.
Do you got any spare barrels? I asked the barkeep.
He goes, we got a couple empty ones in the back.
Excellent.
Perfect.
All right, so he leads you to the back alley. And, he takes you to the back. There are a couple barrels, large enough they could probably fit an unconscious person inside.
Yes, excellent. Let's stick them inside and seal them in.
All right. So, easily enough, you stuff their bodies, each one in a barrel. Do you seal it to the point where they wouldn't be able to get out without help, or just...
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Let's seal it to the point they can't get out without help.
you stuff them in, seal them up.
Yep.
You have 2 sealed barrels now. You'd
Yes.
like to find a cart to put them on?
Yes.
Give me a perception check.
We'll roll. Let's roll them down the street.
Give me a perception check.
11. Ooh.
All right. It takes you about 10 minutes.
I got a 22.
Okay, with a 22, it takes you maybe a couple seconds before you see a cart driven by this older human gentleman.
Excuse me, sir.
He kind of like looks up. Yes?
What's that over there? And I'm gonna just point up to the sky and like motion with my other hand for Mars to put the barrels on his cart.
Make a deception check, and Mars make a sleight of hand check.
I
Can
have
help him out?
disadvantage
Because
on...
I'm too.
You can help as well. You can,
I got a 33 in deception.
Oh my.
Okay, so since I'm getting help, should it be a normal roll or a disadvantage roll?
It'd be a normal roll. Because that 33 really helps.
16.
All right, and Thornhenge, what were you wanting to do?
I wanted to help out.
Oh, okay. You can... What'd you get, Mars?
16.
Okay. Easily enough, you and Thornhenge easily get the barrels on the back of the cart as Octavian distracts this gentleman.
I'm going to point to like nothing there, and then I'm going to make sure that he's like looking at my hand, and I'm going to slowly move my hand down towards him, still extended. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to use minor illusion to conjure a flower into my hand.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guessed it was just you." And I'll hand him the ethereal flower as it's going to dissipate into butterflies.
Okay.
He instantly just falls in love.
Yes. I have that effect on people. It's hard.
Okay. So you easily slip the barrels onto the back of the cart, and then he kind of takes the flower and just kind of gives you an odd look before tucking it in his shirt and hitching the horses up and driving forward.
All right, we've taken care of that problem. Hugo said that they were going to go do some recon to scope out the warehouse. I think in the meantime, Mars, we should try to find your brothers, I guess you could say. What would you refer to them, being that they're a part of your religion?
Co-workers.
Co-workers? Well, no, like in a religious house, like wouldn't you refer to like other like sister brother kind of deal? Siblings, I guess.
I know,
don't
I was just joking. Yeah, they
Yeah.
would be brothers.
Okay. Yes, let's go find these siblings of yours. I'll walk up to the nearest person.
All right.
Hello, sir, ma'am, madam.
It's a woman. She's
okay.
doing some laundry.
Hi, ma'am. I was wondering, and I will gesture to my friend Mars. Have you seen any other Loxodons going around dressed in similar garb? We've managed to find one, and he's lost his play. He's lost his way, and we're just trying to get him back with his friends.
Give me a deception check and a persuasion check. Or it's your choice, persuasion or deception, which is probably...
So my deception was a 25,
25.
and my persuasion was a 31.
She kind of gives you a curious look and says, "Aye, we had some Luxodon wearing priestly garb pass through here a couple hours ago. They said they were headed to the Brothel District."
The Brothel District. Ooh. Thank you. Thank you so much. They'll be happy to know that we found their wandering brother.
She kind of nods and goes back to cleaning.
I'll kind of look over the thing she's cleaning, and you really shouldn't mix those fabrics together when you're cleaning. They'll bleed into one another and ruin each other.
She just kind of shoots you a curious look and then goes back to cleaning.
All right. Toodaloo! All right, Mars. I found him. At least I think I did.
Potentially.
Oh, what should we do first? Do we want to... I'll whisper. Kill... Oh, actually, no. I'll say it telepathically. Kill them? Or...
God, killing.
I'm not sure if murdering them all would be the best thing.
Okay.
Some of them are just sort of misguided and don't really know what's going on behind the scenes.
So we need to break their face.
Well, not necessarily. Ideally, we just exposed the fact that they're being led by
A lunatic.
a lunatic who married a necromancer.
Your mother's a necromancer?
Yeah, I've talked about the fact that my mother's the one who raises the undead, right?
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot that.
My food is done. I'll be right back.
That's fine.
That's right. His mother is a necromancer. I completely forgot that. Well.
So, you're free to move about the city, head in any direction you
Yep. Let's go towards the Whore District.
What time is it right now? In the day?
It's like midday, isn't it?
It's about midday, yeah.
So we can still do our shopping still today.
Yes,
you can do
shop
some
if you-
nighttime shopping.
The market would be open at night. It'd be a little different at night. You get the idea that the market district, like the magic shops, the clothing shops, stuff like that would probably be closed at night, but the bazaar would probably be open for like food and smaller trinkets.
Ooh.
Got it.
So,
Let us go.
to the Brothel District? The Red Light District, as it's called?
Yes.
It's known as the playground, which you would know.
Yes.
So, you three, head in that direction. It takes maybe 5-10 minutes to get there. As you arrive, the shade from the dome is nice in this desert heat. And as you move forward, you do see, people perusing, some ladies of the night, men of the night, beckoning and gesturing for you to come towards them, hoping to get a sale, as you will.
Oh.
But give me a perception check, anybody who would like to make one.
Okay.
Err.
I got an 18.
All right. Thornton got a 10. So, even with a 10 and an 18, you notice that there's this lingering kind of like tension. Like you see customers kind of like, looking back and forth, kind of making...
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome back. You see customers kind of like looking back and forth, kind of, gauging the area. And they
Where
look...
are we then?
We're in the slut district.
You're in the playground, also known as the Red Light District, where you killed Arthur and all the brothels are located.
Oh.
But you do see that
I guess
there's a tension in the air, is the easiest way to describe it.
I'll walk up to someone. Excuse me.
It's a woman, and she's kind of like, yes.
I was informed that there were some holy men walking around this section of town. Lexodons, quite like my friend here.
She goes, I did see some Luxodons pass through here a few minutes ago.
Could you point us in their direction?
She kind of like gestures off deeper to the north, and she's like, just follow the roads. That's where they were going.
Huh.
And then she kind of like bundles herself up and leaves.
Huh. Okay. I'll make my way down that way.
All right.
I completely forgotten the fact that your mother was a necromancer, Mars.
It's not exactly something I'm allowed to talk about.
Interesting.
Remember, the whole deal about my mother raising the dead and then my father sending out priests to kill them, it's part of their, business strategy.
Yes. I remember that. Now.
All right. So as you head deeper to the north, eventually you see up ahead a crowd gathering. Maybe 50 people kind of filling the streets and blocking your path. And as you get closer, you can hear shouting coming from just on the other side of the crowd.
Oh.
Walk up to one of the guys on the back, be like, "Hey, what's going on?"
He kind of turns to you and says, I don't know, these weird elephant-looking people just dragged a guy out of his house.
We found him, Mars!
Mars starts pushing his way through the crowd.
All
Make
right.
way, everyone! Make way! My friend here has business to attend to.
As you begin pushing your way through the crowd, you do hear the shouting getting louder, and it sounds like a woman. And she's shouting, no, please don't take him. And you hear some muffled noises, and as you reach the front of the crowd, you do see 4 Luxodons, all dressed in similar priestly garb to Mars, Two are holding back a woman, while another one has what looks like a man by the collar, just kind of dragging him into the center of the street. And then the fourth member, who looks to be maybe the leader of the group, kind of just standing their arms crossed as this is all going down.
What the hell is going on here?
You announce yourself.
Yes.
They kind of.
I mean, it's probably not that hard, being that you probably stand above most people in the crowd.
You're taller than most of the people in the crowd.
Yeah.
But you do see, as you shout that, they kind of like turn to you, kind of like half smiling, and then when they see you, you see the color kind of drain from their face, and you see them kind of like they're still holding back the woman, but the one who seems to be the leader kind of speaks up and he goes, "Mars, what are you doing here?"
That is my business. What the hell are you doing dragging a man out of his home?
And they kind of, you see the one holding the man kind of laughs and says, "He's not a man," and he lifts him up, and as he does, you see it looks like a man, but you see he's kind of desiccated, and his eyes are kind of glazed over, and he's missing like part of his jaw, and he appears to be a zombie.
My God!
Oh.
Can I do a closer observation to make sure he's actually an undead and it's not any sort of
Yeah, they don't
illusion
stop you.
work?
They don't stop you as you get closer. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Investigation. Can I use my sense of smell so that I can also...
Oh, yeah, I'll allow it. He'd be pretty smelly if he was undead.
Rotting.
Just so I can have an advantage.
Yeah.
17.
Ooh.
17. So, looking over the man, he does appear to be undead. It's not an illusion. You don't know how this came to be, but he doesn't seem to be as aggressive as an undead would. So, you can't determine why he's so docile.
I'm going to reach out to him telepathically, the undead.
Okay.
Hey, anybody in there?
You just hear kind of like this weird guttural mumbling.
In his mind?
In his mind, yes.
What is he mumbling about?
Just nonsense. It's
So,
yes.
I was going to ask, can I tell if this, like, if I recognize this as some sort of, like, necromancy work?
Make an Arcana check.
undead don't normally have thoughts, so the fact that there's a mumbling in there means that there's somewhat of a consciousness.
I got a 3, so...
Okay. You can't really tell what's going on here magically. Something is definitely like this. Any undead is usually brought about by magical means. So you gauge something's going on, but you can't really gauge what's going on in detail.
Hold on. Before we kill this man, Mars, I'm going to tell Mars telepathically, he's not truly undead. There's someone in there. Like, there's a mumbling in his head. Undead don't have thoughts. There's thoughts in his head.
Can undead have thoughts?
I have thoughts because I'm special.
You're special, but is that guy special?
He might be.
This is odd. Are you absolutely sure that this man is truly an undead?
The leader.
DM.
Yes.
Can I make a check to see if zombies can have thoughts?
Make a. Give me an intelligence check.
Intelligence check. Ah, that's not wrong. There we go. 13?
Okay. With a 13, from what you know about undead, normal undead, brought about by necromancers or just, any powerful mage, wouldn't have thoughts. They'd be empty husks that are just piloted around by the magic. So you'd get the feeling that maybe something is going on if he does have even the trace amounts of thoughts.
Hold on, because to even read his thoughts, I had to cast Detect Thoughts on him. I'm going to use Detect Thoughts to really push into his mind and, read his deep, deep thoughts. because I was only doing surface level. He has to do a wisdom save for me to be able to really get in there.
All right.
Zombie.
Yeah, the Zombo.
What's the number I have to beat?
You got to beat a 17, unless he's willing. If he wants me to, like, Dave, he doesn't have to. He can forego his save, and I can just peer in. But if he does not want me to look in, he has to do a save.
How would he know that you're trying to penetrate deeper into his mind?
I don't think so.
You initially can learn the surface thoughts. If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, you gain insight into reasoning of any of its emotional states, something that looms larger in its mind, such as something it worries about, over loves, or hates. If it succeeds, I cannot tell, I don't know. However, it is made aware that I am looking. If it succeeds, it's made aware that I'm looking into its head.
Okay. It rolled a 17.
Oh, fuck shit.
So I was with no modifiers. It's a straight 17.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, actually, you know what?
Zombie does not need to know
It might have a negative. Let me check.
I think if it's a zombie, they might have a negative.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Fuck.
Go negatives.
I don't think zombies have whiz.
I'm just gonna check real quick.
Zombie. Zombie.
Before we start
They have a
asking them
negative
questions-
2.
Yeah. Oh, so he got a 15.
You got a 15, so he fails.
So what am I seeing?
So, at first it's just mumbling. But as you peer
Okay.
deeper, you do start to detect panic,
Okay.
a need to break free,
Okay.
and a deeper loving emotion for a woman.
Okay. All right. I'm going to telepathically reach out to Mars. Mars, he's still in there. I don't know if this is like a slowly encroaching zombie virus or something, but he's still technically in there. Before we start saying anything to anyone, allow me to cast a specific spell so that people can't lie. All right?
Understood.
All
He
right.
thinks back at you.
Cool. I'm going to clap my hands together, spin around, snap my fingers, and point up to the sky. And I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
All
Can we
right.
see the spell
Yeah.
being cast, or just you
Yeah.
dancing?
No, it's because when I cast my Zone of Truth, it's everything around us in a 15-foot radius sphere. Around that sphere dims as it's almost like a spotlight is being cast onto everyone within the sphere. So yeah, you create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time or on a turn or starts its turn there must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie while within the radius. You know whether each creature succeeds or fails on the saving throw, however. So I know if someone's able to resist it. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive in their answering as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth. And this spell lasts for 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Octavian.
Yes.
Now, to get started.
All right. What's the save?
They have to beat a 17 charisma. And I know everyone who... So I have to roll. Mars has to roll. Thorhinge has to roll. Everyone in it has to roll.
All right.
A what?
So I know Mars failed.
So what's the save?
17 charisma.
1.
All right. You two cannot tell lies. I have to roll a charisma save as well. I got a 16, so I cannot lie either in this
All
sphere.
right. They all failed.
Oh, they all failed? Fuck
They all
yeah!
failed.
First, I will start by asking the person closest to this. Madam, I look over at the woman that they're
Oh, I
holding
need
back.
I need to roll for her. Hold on.
Oh,
I forgot.
Okay.
I forgot she was a player. No, don't open the full thing. Damn it. Charisma. Oh, this is...
Yes, charisma 17.
Total of 7.
All right, so she failed as well.
All right. So, you turn to her.
Madam, when exactly did this start? I gesture at her husband or boyfriend, I assume.
She kind of pushes through the two holding her back. And she kind of like shakes herself off and she looks at you. And she just kind of stares at you and says, "This happened about a week ago."
About a week ago. Sorry.
Can you tell me the exact symptoms of his condition that you've noticed so far?
She goes, "It's not a condition. He died about a week ago. And I maybe
Uh-huh.
used some magic to
Oh.
prolong his life."
Are you a wizard?
She kind of looks at you. Gage, she kind of looks and she doesn't answer. She just kind of stares you down. But
Or were you given a means to perform these magics by someone else?
She just kind of nods her head and says, Someone taught me."
Ooh, who taught you?
Interesting.
She goes, I don't know. They came to me in my dreams.
It was me. No.
As far as Octavian can tell, this is not true undeath.
Yes.
Yes, you get the feeling it's not... If she was just a regular old necromancer and she brought him back to life, he wouldn't be having thoughts. He'd be just a husk. Yeah. So the fact that she was able to magically prolong his life or what have you, it is a little odd. And
what happened to his bottom jaw, might I ask?
She goes, "Well, he hasn't been the same since I brought him back, and he's been trying to leave the house.
Oh.
And in one of our scuffles, it may or may not have dislodged."
Has he been violent?
She goes, "No, he's just been trying to get outside."
Has he talked when you brought him back?
He tries, but
Oh.
it's mostly just mumbling. I get the idea that I didn't do it quite well enough.
Oh. I'll conjure with minor illusion a tiny little magnifying glass into my hand and walk over to the main Lexodon that's holding him up. And what say you, good sir?
What did you conjure?
How did you know? A magnifying glass.
Oh, magnifying glass. Okay.
Yeah. What brings you to this area? How did you know that there was an undead here?
Just so you know, if all these guys know me specifically, they probably would also know Octavian.
Yes. You recognize these clothes.
Even if he's sort of disguised and wearing strange clothes, they'd recognize his voice.
Yes. He kind of like rolls his eyes and says, "I'll humor you, as long as I'm within the spell." He goes, "We got reports that her husband hadn't been seen in a while, and when he did make it outside, he smelled, he looked wrong, missing his jaw. So we were dispatched to take care of it."
Fascinating.
Because if you need more proof, I'll cast Detect Undead.
No. I'm very much aware that this man, I'll kind of like pinch whatever's left of his cheeks.
It kind of like sags.
I'm pretty sure this fine fellow is dead. Undead, mind you. But there's just something here. There's just something more than just a writhing husk. There's some life to it, almost. Like a memory of who he once was. But our fine madam here seems to have kind of botched the resurrection, to say. Sidebar.
At the very least, if this man has thoughts, then he has his soul.
Yes, that is true.
And by our doctrines, he is to be under our protection, not our wrath.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 6.
He rolled a natural 1.
Oh!
You make a great argument, Mars.
He kind of like crosses his arms and smiles, and then as you kind of talk, you kind of see the smile kind of fade and the eyes kind of widen, like, ah, shit.
Oops, looks like you have to follow your religion lest you be excommunicated. People and your morals.
He kind of gestures, and the one holding the man kind of drops him, and the two holding back the woman kind of release her, and she runs over and hugs him.
Oh.
And you can see his arms kind of like sag over her, almost like in a half hug.
This is very odd.
Maybe he's just a skeleton and he's just being weighed down by all the dead flesh. If you just remove all the dead skin, he'll have an easier time moving.
Jesus
Christ.
Did you say that out loud?
I did.
Mars just kind of looks at you like, that's not funny.
But it's the truth. He could. It's hard.
He can't tell lies.
He can't tell lies. I'm serious. Maybe
Mars
he's
is
just
trying to
being
keep
weighed
his
down.
mouth shut because he is very... he can't... He doesn't
creepy.
want to reveal anything about you, Octavian, remember?
I'm going to inspect the undead.
All right, make a perception or make an investigation check.
Ooh, an unnatural 20.
All right. Looking him over, he seems to have decayed quite a bit. His flesh is just sagging off. There's parts where you can see the bone. His eyes are glazed over and almost desiccated, and it looks like he's just kind of flesh hanging on bones.
I lean over to you, Octavian, and pull you aside a bit and whisper, do you remember if you were in a state like this?
I don't know. I'm gonna try and remember.
Okay.
Did I? This is a point. This is that foggy part of my memory where soon after this, I was turned into an undead. I don't quite remember that much, but I'm gonna try my best to try to remember. What do I need to do? A roll?
Make an intelligence check.
Just a straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence.
Okay, here we go. 4.
4. You kind of think real hard. And if you had blood vessels, you might have popped one, but
Yeah.
you don't quite remember if you ever went through a phase like this. It's been the days have blended together so far that you're just not sure.
Oh, I have an idea. Madam, do you have his lower jaw?
She kind of looks at you and says, I didn't toss it out if that's what you're asking.
Yes, please go get it.
She kind of like looks around and says, okay. And she
Yes,
heads
please.
back into the house.
I'll walk over to the man. It'll be
Crowd
fine,
still
sir.
Watching us, by the way.
Say again?
Is the crowd still watching us, by the way?
Yes, the crowd is still like enthralled.
Yeah.
What a show.
Yes.
Well, this is how
I'll walk
Octavian
over to the
operates.
dead guy, put my arm around him, and be like, "We'll get you fixed. We'll get you fixed right up, buddy. Don't you worry." You're
Perhaps we
dealing
should
with
move them.
professional.
Perhaps we should move him back into the home so that
Yay.
we move
Fresh
away
air
from
is
the-
okay. Fresh air is fine. Also, Mars, I can't move I can't move Zone of Truth. It's stuck here.
Oh, is that... So everybody in the crowd is gonna hear the truth from all of you.
Yes.
Yes. So she comes back
Madam.
she comes back out a few minutes later with what looks like a nice white polished jawbone.
Thank you, madam. I'll take it from her hands and inspect him and try to pop it back into
Did you-
place.
Did you clean that?
She goes, it was kind of sticking the place up a bit.
Maybe we should do the same with him when we have the time. I'll pop his bottom jawbone back into his...
Make a medicine check.
11.
11. It's not that hard. You kind of like a few times you like jab him into the roof of the mouth until finally you hear the little like clink, not a clink, but like a almost like a suction noise. It lodges back into place.
I'll tell him. I'll like whisper towards him. I'll be like, I do this because I'm pretty good at this. I have experience. All right. Can you move? Can you move your jaw?
He kind of like, you see him kind of like, you know, open his mouth real wide, close it, and he kind of like He looks to you and his eyes still glazed over. Just kind of
we-
nods.
All
There's
right.
some recognition, though.
Well,
This
hold
is
on.
Very strange.
Maybe the eyes are in the way.
Are you suggesting that we remove the flesh?
Can you
In
ask
front
if
of
his-
this
if he
crowd.
can see first before you pop his eyes out?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my finger up. We're like, follow my finger.
He
Is
does.
he following it?
You go left, right, and he just keeps staring straight ahead.
I think the eyes are in the way. Hold on.
I think
Jeez.
we're gonna. I think
I'm gonna just
Oh my
Everybody
God.
is watching.
just going to gently pluck his eyes
Octavian.
out.
Octavian, no.
I
I
do
put my
it.
hands. I put my
I
hands
do
on
it.
your wrists.
I pluck
Okay.
them out.
Make both of you make a strength check to see if
Can I do
Octavian.
dexterity?
Yeah, dexterity. You're trying to nimbly move. Mars, you're trying to grab him. So
Oh
give me a
God damn it!
Yee! 24! I got a natural 20.
All right, so Mars, have you rolled yet? Oh, 1
I
minute.
did.
Yeah,
I
you
got a
did.
6.
Yeah. So you immediately, upon hearing what he's saying, go to grab him. He weasels his way out, and you see him just kind of like jab his fingers into the eye sockets, and you hear the crowd. You hear the crowd kind of oh, and you see the guildmate or your guildmates kind of like wince, like oh crap, and you see Octavian just pop out 2 disgusting little desiccated eyeballs.
All right, now I'm gonna.
Mars just like drags both of his hands down his face.
All right, I'm gonna pull my finger up. Can you see my finger now?
You watch as he follows it pretty well.
You can call me Dr. Octavian from now on.
The leader of the group kind of looks to you and says, "How did you know to do that?"
Experience.
Experienced. I am a bard, after all. I think maybe the reason why he's having a hard time talking is because there's too much muddling his mind.
You think he might be another living skeleton?
Yes. Yes, like ones that we've met before, correct? Mars? Being
I
that
know
you're
that
using the
you've-
word another?
I know that you've met another one.
Yes, I have. Thornhinge, bring the saw, please.
You watch as a few members of
And-
the crowd kind of like holding themselves from vomiting.
Perhaps you should disperse. I say to the crowd.
No, this is fun. Please stay. This entertainment is quite unique.
Thornhinge, what were you gonna say?
Gasping at the sight of this monstrosity being more monstrous. But I guess I bring the saw for Octavian then.
Well, no, we don't want to break his skull. Is there any sinew keeping his head attached to his?
Make a medicine check.
All right.
Perhaps we could boil the rest of the flesh off?
We could. 18.
18. So
Yes.
as you kind of look him over, you see most of his muscles have decayed to the point where they're no longer functioning,
Yes.
and they're just kind of hanging on the bones.
Yeah.
There is still some sinew and tendons holding
Yes.
his skull and arms together, but the rest of his body just looks like the meat is just sloshed over him, like a heavy blanket.
God.
We need to free his skeleton from the confines of this wretched flesh. Oh, I think you summoned a skeleton, or not summoned, brought back a skeleton, but it's still inside this cocoon of flesh. I don't know why I'm talking like William Shatner, but
I look over to the woman first. Would you rather us put him to rest?
oh, he's still alive.
I have to ask her.
She kind
As
of
as his only living connection to the world, I have to be respectful and ask her, if she would willingly curse him to an existence of being of the rest of his existence as a fleshless being, or if she'd rather have him put to rest.
But he's still alive. We can ask him. We don't have
We
to.
don't. He
She
has
can't-
his. He does have his thoughts, but you've said so yourself. He's not in his right mind at the
No,
moment.
but he can talk now with his jaw.
Has he been able to speak?
He's just been kind of mumbling to himself.
I'm gonna look him dead in the eyes or sockets, and I'm gonna say,
You're still holding his eyes, so
Yeah,
technically
I'm-
you can.
I'll kind of like cast him to the side. I don't really want those anymore.
You know,
God.
You watch the crowd. Someone finally just upends and vomits on the floor.
I'm gonna put my hands on the undead man's shoulders. I'm gonna look him dead in this. I'm gonna socket to socket, because I don't have eyes
mask
either.
to socket.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I'm going to tell him telepathically. Hey, I'm an undead just like you. Please, I can help you. We don't have to be alone in this endeavor. We can be together in our undeath. But I need you to come to a lucidness. I need you to come out of whatever mist that you seem to be trudging yourselves in this right now. If you need me to, I can help pull you out of this stupor, but this doesn't have to be the end. This can be a new start for you, but you must tell them. I'm telling him this psychically.
Psychically. You
I
hear
can't
him-
read his thoughts anymore. Because,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So basically, you see him kind of just sit there quietly, knees on the ground. And he kind of just looks up to you, and in this very raspy, kind of decayed voice, you hear him just say, "Kill me." And you get the vibe from what you've seen so far and what you know about necromancy. You get the feeling that maybe this was a botched spell, because he does seem to have thought and his soul, but it seems that it's almost disconnected from the rest of him.
He's writhing in agony on the inside. He wishes for death, Mars.
Upon him saying this, the leader of the group, you see him pull his mace out in one swift motion, smash the Gnan's skull.
Mars just grabs this other guy by the collar and goes, "What the hell are
No.
you doing?"
He wanted death, Mars. He wanted death.
Yes,
I
but
guess.
there were better things that we could have done than smash his skull.
He kind of looks to you confused and says, "I'm just doing my job."
Hold on.
He
I'm
still had his soul.
The pieces. I'm psychically reaching out to them. I can cast Detect Thoughts again. I have to expend a spell slot, but I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts again. It's. There's nothing there, right?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Okay, thank
But
God.
you do notice after the skull's been smashed, the body still moves. It's like still kind of like squirming in place,
Like a true undead.
like
now.
a true undead. Yes, and you do hear the woman kind of like scream her bloody head off as this happens. And hold on.
This is fucked up.
We could have been brothers.
Mars goes to comfort the woman.
All right.
What about me, Mars? What about my feelings?
All right. She kind of
Fall
just
to the ground.
she kind of falls into your arms, Mars, and just starts bawling.
I sort of glare over at the leader of this group.
He kind of like crosses his arms and with a very stern look, just like shakes his head like it had to be done.
Won't you finish the job? His writhing corpse is still moving around. Why don't you use your holy magic to do away with him like you so quickly did away with his skull?
He kind of looks to you and pulls his mace out and, starts walking up, holding it with two hands, about to smash. And Mars, as this happens, you feel the woman kind of push off of you. And then she kind of like spins around, raises her hand, and do. Where is
She
it?
sings.
No, she doesn't sing. She just outstretches her hand, and you see this kind of like sickly white light kind of launch at the leader of the group. It impacts him, and he kind of like buffets and kind of like shrugs it off, but he kind of looks to her confused before she kind of like throws her hand up and disappears.
She like invisibility.
Not invisibility. You do see like almost like this purplish glowing doorway appear, and she kind of steps
Oh,
through
she
it.
teleports. She was a wizard or a sorcerer or something.
You get the feeling that she was. But you see that the other two kind of rush over to the leader, who he's hurt, but he's not like on death's door or anything. But it was a surprise to him.
Hmm.
And you see the crowd kind of like mulling to themselves before finally what looks like some of the local guards kind of push their way through.
Guards. Guards. Oh, it's a tragedy. A woman. She teleported out. This man on the floor. Well, technically his head is on the floor, but his
head is
actual
smashed.
body is...
His body
Yeah,
is still
his-
kind of like writhing in
so
place.
casually.
This man has lost his mind.
They kind of look. They kind of look at what's going on, and they just kind of like. They look confused, and the crowd begins to not disperse, but actually move closer. But you see the one who was originally holding the man kind of take his mace out and just start smashing into the writhing corpse.
Stop!
He kind of looks to you and says, "What? I'm doing my job."
Have a bit of tact.
Decency.
I cast Word of Radiance on the corpse to finish it off.
What's Word of Radiance do?
It's it's an attack.
Okay.
It does I utter a divine word and burning radiance erupts from me.
Oh, okay.
What's
And
the
every
word?
Bird?
Rest.
Rest.
All right. So the body eventually stops writhing and kind of just sinks into the ground. You see they're tending to the leader, and they're kind of like they pull out their medicine packs and they start wrapping his wounded arm. And they kind of look to you.
When you're finished with that, perform the proper funeral rites for this man.
Yes.
They kind of just nod in your direction and say, "Listen, we're sorry it went down like this. We're just trying to do our job."
Your job is to protect the living and honor the dead.
Yes.
What you've done is made a circus act out of a man's death.
Undeath.
They kind of, you see them kind of like lower their heads and just kind of nod, and eventually the guards kind of approach and they turn to you, Octavian, and you, Mars, and they say, they kind of like confused, and say, "Is everything all right?"
Everything's fine. I'm fine. He was my brother.
I try to console Octavian, I guess. Like,
I'll very dramatically throw myself into the arms of Thorhinge. Like, oh.
You did what you can.
I explained the situation to the guards about how my brothers were called to handle an undead creature.
He kind of nods and says, "Well, as long as it's been dealt with, just try to keep it out of the streets, please."
That's exactly what I was trying to avoid.
You care.
You see the leader kind of... Go ahead.
Also, Mr. Guard, there seems to have been some sort of incident with some magic user speaking to this man's wife or girlfriend or some woman he was having relations with. After he died, she was visited in her dreams by someone who taught her how to revive this man in some way where his soul was still attached to the bones trapped in his corpse.
He kind of looks and says, "That's kind of above my pay grade, but we can investigate it, I assume."
I'm only telling you because this may not be an isolated incident. There could be other mourners who were visited in their dreams.
Who's to say that the person who told her the magic isn't also the same person who warned the Lexodon about the failed experiment? Because how would they have found out? Really? I don't know. Something seems a little fishy.
Well, he did apparently get out of his house at some point, and people
yeah,
saw him.
They do. You do remember the leader of the group
Sure,
did say
when they're in the city, but how did they even know to come to this city? Do you know what I mean?
Mars turns to them and says, "Well,
the boss told us."
Who's your boss?
He kind of looks.
Dad, remember?"
Yeah, he kind of looks to Mars and then looks to
Want
you.
them to say it.
Because Mars's father
Oh!
specifically told us that there was an undead problem in the city of Osla and that we were to deal with it.
How quaint.
He goes, "Listen, things didn't go right." And he kind of like stands up and he kind of like outstretches his hand and he says, "How about I treat you all to a dinner and we can discuss things?"
Fine. But you have to choose but you have to take us out to where we want to go.
He goes, That's fine. I have plenty coin."
Guard, what is the most absolutely morbidly expensive restaurant in this city?
The guard kind of smiles and says, That'd be the Decadent Dove."
Ah! Yes, it sounds amazing. I don't even know what's on the menu. That's where we'll go. We'll meet you there. Do I know this Lexodon?
You've never
Do I
met him.
recognize him?
You
Oh.
don't. You've never met him face to face,
Hmm.
so you wouldn't know his name. But
Everyone in the church mostly just knows you because
Yeah.
you're hanging around me almost all the time.
yeah, they know
Yeah.
you. You don't know them.
Yes. Fine, we'll go there. We'll meet you there at 8 o'clock this evening.
He kind of smiles and says, "Fine. I'll go get my coin purse." And
We're your finest.
the four of them turn and head off out of the playground.
Mars?
After they perform proper funeral rites.
Yes,
for the man.
my apologies. He kind of stops and realizes, and he comes back and he performs the proper funeral rites, and the body is.
Cremated.
He does kind of cremate, yes.
Mars.
Yes. Have you dispersed Zone of Truth yet?
Oh, it only lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's been long gone.
At this point, it's gone.
Mars, I'm worried about something.
As am I.
I think we should probably head back to the hotel to get ready for this evening.
I agree, and we'll have to discuss what happened.
Yes, I need to talk to you about something when we get there.
All right. So you're heading to the casino where you had your rooms?
No. Yes.
All right. So the three of you, leaving the guards to kind of clean up the ashy pile and like disperse the crowd, who you see many of them look very pale and kind of like, what? And
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. We wanted to thank everyone here and our grand performers.
I look over at Octavian and say, I was mad at them for making this a circus act. You're lucky you're my friend and you're not getting the same earful.
No, but I don't want people to be afraid that there's undead running around. I need them to think that it's all just a performance act and that they don't need to be living in fear.
make a deception check. If that's what you're going for.
Yes. 32.
I shouldn't ask. I should just.
Yeah.
But they kind of like, they kind of like slowly start clapping, and you see some people like mutter like that was interesting.
It's a
But the
new
crowd,
drama performance, very, very, very unhinged, very kind of, a lot of religious trauma that we're trying to get through.
the crowd eventually does disperse.
All right. All right. Okay. Lars, when we get back to the hotel, I need to talk to you about something. Something
Yes.
something seems I don't know. I need to talk to you.
I do not like the fact that apparently someone is taking advantage of those mourning the loss of their loved ones.
Yes. How did they know? How did this person know that this woman had lost? People die all the time. You know what I mean? But how did they know this particular woman had a lost loved one? You know what I mean?
There could be any number of reasons. If this town
Hmm.
has some sort of newspaper with an obituary,
When we're back in our room, are we
Yeah,
back to the hotel
it
room
only
rooms?
takes you like 15 minutes to get back to
Okay.
your rooms, which are freshly cleaned.
Ah, yes, of course. I will take Gus Gus out of my skull, place him on the side, and give him some like crackers and cheese.
He just grabs them and starts nibbling.
Yes. I will also give him the. Actually, I'll keep it on me. I'm gonna say, okay, Mars. I'm worried. The spells that I've been gaining the past few times, I don't necessarily think that they're entirely of my own creation. I think that there's a seed somewhere within me, or a sliver of something, of the person who made me into what I am now, and a connection in some way. And the fact that we know that this woman was contacted via dreams it doesn't seem. Have I told them that I can use dream now?
You have not mentioned it.
Yeah. I last night gained the ability to contact people via dreams. And I just don't think it's a coincidence that the person that apparently made this granted this woman the ability to make this undead is also might it also used dreams to communicate with her. I think it's the same person who made me.
I mean, that's a very easy conclusion to make. There aren't exactly a lot of people like you, so we could assume that anyone else like you was made by the same person.
No, but another thing is he wasn't just a normal undead. He was like me, but she failed. She messed up the spell, so he wasn't, perfect like I am. But she it was so similar. If she had succeeded, could he have not been exactly like me?
He very well could have.
Which makes me believe that whoever is doing this
But
might
you are
be.
you are the only one who was able to tell that he still had his thoughts.
Yes. He wasn't psychic like me. At least, if he wasn't aware that he was yet. I don't know where this psychicness comes from, though. And it just doesn't make sense that your church would know of one man in a city they're not from, in one little house about a week ago. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They had been traveling to the city way before a week. So they had been told, essentially beforehand, that he was here, even though it's only been a week
They
since he's
could
been
have
an undead.
also been called to deal with the mummy problem that's surrounding the city. And they just happened upon this man by happenstance.
Then how were they told while they were here that he was here?
Again, the people in the community saw him.
It was only like one day. I don't know. Something doesn't seem right. Something doesn't seem like it's adding up.
Didn't the woman say that the guy has been resurrected for a week now?
Yes.
So wouldn't that be time already for the community to actually take notice?
But he
Yeah,
only
that's
got out
exactly
on
what
one
they
day.
said.
Or did he
Yes,
get out
but
at all?
She said, everyone said that he did get out a few times.
Oh. At dinner tonight, we'll ask him what actually initially brought him to the city.
All right.
I'm down for dinner. Are they paying?
Oh, yes, I made sure of that.
I want to get the
And
best
if they
set ever.
and we'll make sure that they're paying, because if they don't, we can all say, oh no, the three of us all have to go to the bathroom at the same time, and we can sneak out the back window, and then they're forced to pay even if they didn't want to.
Still
I've
need
done
to
it.
go
I've done it a
shopping.
lot of times.
All right. So
sure.
it's about midday now. You have a couple hours till 8 o'clock. What would you like to do in that time?
We need to
I like
make sure
to
that
go
we all look
shopping.
appropriate for dinner tonight.
I want to go shopping. I need to get my
Yes,
weapon.
we need to look appropriate for dinner.
No, I don't need. I look good as is.
No, but we're going to the most fanciest restaurant in town. You need to gussy up. You need to
No, I
look
want to be casual.
proper.
No,
I take
No.
out my nice robes.
no. I fight this. I will not be. I will not be fancy. I'll be casual owl.
No, we're going to make you look nice whether you want to or not.
No.
What about some glitter? Like a glitter up your feathers. That seems nice, right?
Glitter is hideous.
Maybe less clothing. Maybe like some like ooh, how foreign, this foreign owl beauty wearing, very scantily clothes, and you just say, "Oh, wow, I just wanted to show off my feathers, my plumage." Hmm? Jewelry? Fine jewelry?
Jewelry, no.
Mars is just over in his section of their conjoined rooms, and he just is like getting out his nice robes.
Fine. Fair. At least bathe yourself.
Fine.
All right.
I'm going to go and make myself look like the most beautiful, like,
And
big fur coat.
Before all this, Mars is going to take a nap to try and get.
Yeah.
Rid of the
I
exhaustion.
will,
Yeah.
I will bathe myself after I get my weapon.
Okay.
I'll do a short rest.
So
We can take a long rest between then and now, right?
Yeah,
We're having
it's-
dinner at them at 8.
It's about noon, so you could sleep.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to go shopping, but you could sleep for the full 8 hours to get rid of exhaustion.
Yes. Let's.
Mars doesn't really need anything, so he will sleep, but the rest of you can shop if you want.
I'll prep our clothing, Mars. I know what you look at it.
All right. So Thornhead, you're going shopping?
I'm trying to look for a great axe. That's what I'm trying to do.
All right.
Should be 30 gold pieces, because I have 38. So it does 1d12 damage.
All right. A great axe?
Yes.
Perfect. So yeah, 30 gold pieces. So you head into the market district, and you're kind of like holding your gold to you, and you eventually arrive, and it's pretty large. It's like this open air market. You see many stalls lining the road. You see people going back and forth, and eventually, give me a investigation check.
Okie dokie. 3.
3. It takes you about an hour before you find looks like a little gnomish gentleman surrounded by weapons. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call.
Oh wait.
It's very. I am very much enjoying this little plot line.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am so glad I finally get to give Mars a moment of just pure righteous fury.
Yeah.
And I get to fight something in a
Yeah.
way of not getting fancy. Because Thorhands doesn't like that. He doesn't like fancy. He just like casual. He likes being himself.
I guess, but just so
No glitter, no jewelry, just me.
The priest, the drag queen, and the casual man
Yeah.
all walk into a bar.
Casual owl. Yes.
You have joined the worst possible party for being someone to not like wearing costumes.
Yes.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, you find a little shop, little like corner booth with a gnomish gentleman sitting there with just surrounded by large weapons.
Ooh. Cool. Do I find the great axe in that?
Yeah,
Arch?
as you approach, you do see hanging above him is this not ornate, but it's a simple great axe just kind of hanging from the top of his cart.
Ooh.
And he kind of sees you and says, "Can I interest you in some of my wares?" And he like gestures a hand.
Yes, I would like that great axe.
He goes, "Very well." And he kind of you watch this. He kind of like tries to reach for it, and you realize he's a little too short. And he's like, "If you don't mind," and he gestures for you to pick it up.
Yeah, I reach for it.
All right, and he goes, "That'll be 25 gold pieces."
Done.
He smiles and takes the coin, says, "Enjoy your purchase," and then he goes back to sitting.
Ready. So add the axe to my equipment and deduct 25 gold pieces. There
All
we
right.
go. Yay. Buy rapier. Hello, great axe. Yep, that was it. That's all the shopping I do today. Because
All
I
right.
don't have much money.
You head back to the casino. You knock on the door, and Octavian will let you back in.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
And
Look
you do,
what I got.
yeah, you see him
Oh.
brandishing this large great axe.
Very nice, very pretty.
More
Kind of like, I'll kind of prestidigitate it just to make it like it's been spit polished, like super nice, like like it's brand fucking new.
I look Octavian straight in the eyes like, did you do this just to make it fancy for the party or for the dinner?
No, I wanted to make you so that you appreciated it more. Like, you take great pride in your possessions. I wanted you to like think it looked nice.
Oh,
They don't let you bring
okay.
weapons into a restaurant.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
But you can hide a knife or a dagger in your back pocket or something. It's really not that hard. Actually, if you have a weapon that can fit in my
I got nothing.
rib cage, a weapon that can fit in my rib cage, I can smuggle it in for you.
The smallest I got is a rapier.
That might not work.
Nope.
Yeah.
Then I got nothing.
All right. Okay. So what I make for myself, because I have my disguise kit, I'm going to do a big fur coat.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of throw some stuff together. Use some furs. It's definitely something that someone should not be wearing in this heat, but it doesn't really matter for me because I'm a skeleton. And I'll make sure to have my porcelain mask on. But I've kind of taken all the makeup off of it. It's just a white blank face, and I've put on some nice eyeliner on it and like very ruby red lips in a very purse kind of position, with just a little bit of glitter, like not glitter. What are they called? Gemstone kind of bedazzle, just going down my cheeks like I'm crying, just slightly. Um, and I'm gonna wear a big fancy hat.
Okay.
And make sure that I'm completely wrapped. Like I'm in a whole body wrap underneath it all so that you can't see my skeleton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys
Yes.
just waiting out the hours until the dinner in your room?
Yeah, it takes me, I'll take a long rest, take my time to like really fritzy this stuff up.
Okay. You all,
And Mars is sleeping.
yep. You all get.
Yeah.
You can take a short rest if you like. Thornhand, you wouldn't be able to take a long rest because you went to get the weapon.
Yeah, I'll take I think a 4-hour short rest.
Yeah, that works. So you all rest up, and eventually 8 o'clock comes around. Mars, you're awoken by Octavian incessantly poking you.
Yes. Mars, it's time!
Never mind. I'll take
Why are you always so excited for fancy dinners? You
I'll
don't
take a
get it.
3-hour short rest because yeah, it's a lot of HP.
You don't
rest at. You don't eat at fancy dinners. That's not the point. You
Need
go
more.
to
What are you
socialize.
talking about?
Yes, no, you go there to eat, yes, but the main part is to socialize.
Yeah, but I'm taking a 3-hour short rest to heal because I'm hurt.
Oh no, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying no. Mars asked me why I was so excited. I don't even eat, and I'm like, I'm not going for the food. I'm going for the conversation.
All right.
I don't eat
Mars.
them because they look like dinosaurs. I eat them because they're fucking chicken nuggets.
Well,
Mars starts putting on his fanciest robes he packed with him.
I'll prestidigitate, make them very looks brand spanking new.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're gonna cut a rug.
25.
Oh, and before we go, I'm gonna whistle at Gus Gus, pop my mask off, and have him crawl up my arm and wiggle his way into my eye hole.
All right. He easily enough nestles inside your skull.
All
I
right,
shudder.
we're ready to go.
Shudders.
La 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 la.
Guess we're going then.
All right.
Yes.
You guys leave the casino, and it's about nightfall at this point, so the sun is slowly setting. You see the streets are still alive and vibrant as ever. You make your way. Do you ask for directions? Because none of you have been to the Decadent Dove.
Yes, probably. We should probably ask for
So
directions.
make an investigation check.
18.
18. You ask what looks like a worldly person. They go, "Oh, it's easy enough," and he points and gives you directions.
Ah, yes, thank you. We'll make sure we look very nice walking down the street this late evening. I'm really kind to sell how, I'm very beautiful.
All right. It only takes you about 10 minutes to get there, and as you arrive, you see the 4 priests all kind of standing, no longer in armor, now in these nice robes, very similar to Mars. And they see you approaching, and they kind of bow.
Hello, boys. You haven't been waiting long, have you?
We arrived a few minutes ago.
Oh. Is it reservation? Do you have a reservation?
He goes, "No, but we pulled a few strings. We have a private room."
Oh, a private room. Yes. I'll make my way up, I guess, into the building, yeah.
All right. You guys head in. You walk into the main lobby, and it's very nice. It's ornate. It's top of the line, if you would. You do see a couple people waiting to get tables, and you see a nice tiefling girl sitting behind the counter, just filling out paperwork, getting menus ready. But you see one of the ushers kind of bow and guide you up the stairs to what looks like a hallway of just private rooms. And they take you down and eventually lead you to one of the doors, open it, and it's this nicely lit, kind of like traditional restaurant private room. There's enough chairs for everyone at a long table, and you all take your seat.
So, I mean no disrespect, but it's been some time since I've seen you boys in quite a while, and I would need a little bit of a reminding of what your names are.
The leader kind of smiles and says, "I don't think we've ever met." He goes, "But not my name is Piero."
Nice to meet you, Piero.
I dropped my USB. He goes, "My name is Piero."
Yes.
The two
I
brothers,
just-
the twins, are Gertrude and
Oh,
Gerwina.
oh, Gertrude and Rowena. Very nice.
And then the final... Yes?
No, I just thought of something funny. Since my name is Mars, what if my father's name is Jupiter?
God.
It's your backstory.
Yes.
I just thought that would be funny.
And the fourth one?
The fourth one, they kind of look to him, and you see he's just kind of like looking around with this like childlike wonder, and he's like,
Is he new?
"That's Lance. He's new."
Lance. So, Pietro,
Mm-hmm.
tell me, how's your sister Wanda? No. Uh,
Mars just looks at him and says, "What were your exact orders for coming to this city?"
yes, what brings you to town?
He says, we originally were tasked with defeating some of the mummies that roam the outskirts. But upon staying in the city, we learned of this. Well, we told you we learned of the woman and her now deceased husband.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
You have insight?
22.
Oh, I'm good.
He is telling a half truth.
Oh.
You get
About what? About the mummies or about the woman?
about the woman.
Oh.
The mummies, you had already heard that's exactly why they were here.
Okay. And the woman, how did you come to find out that this woman had an undead problem? If you don't mind me
He
asking.
goes, well, the locals, they said that they had seen him get out, and we were just, we thought, well, maybe something had happened, and we decided to investigate, and we were proven correct that he was in a form of undead.
It was only the locals that tipped you off? No one else?
No.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Mars trusts Octavian to sniff out a liar, so he's
Yeah.
not even going to try.
I know when I'm looking into a mirror. 23.
23?
Yes.
He's hiding something. Definitely. You can tell by his body language. He kind of whenever you ask him about how they knew, you see him kind of shift in his chair. His eyes kind of dart back and forth. He's hiding something.
It was only the woman and the people in the town that had alerted you. No one, a higher power, like a, higher ranking official of your church had informed you about this. Nothing came to you in a dream.
He goes, no. We just
No dreams.
asked the
Does he-
locals.
Do we notice if he flinches at any of Octavian's suggestions?
Make a perception check.
I'm just there to eat.
Roll. 14.
14. He doesn't flinch. He kind of, just kind of straightens his back and just stares you both down.
I'll psychically reach out to Mars. Make sure to order the most expensive thing on the menu. Treat yourself. You earned it. And same thing with Thorhinge. Just order whatever you want. Treat yourself. You earned it.
And as you say
I turn
this-
over.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I look over to Lance and I ask him, is all of this true, young man?
He goes, yeah.
Yes, Lance.
Boss just said, hey, we got some information about an undead, so we went and dealt with it. And at this point, the waiter comes in and starts taking orders.
I'm going to psychically tell Gus in my mind, take a look at the menu, whatever you'd like. You can order it. It'll be fine.
You see him point to the steak. The large steak.
Oh, yes, of course.
Sorry.
Would you like any, sides?
There's also a cheese platter.
Yeah,
on
would
the
you like a
menu.
cheese? Would you like a cheese platter as well?
He says he wants some mashed potatoes on the side.
Oh, mashed potatoes on the side. All right, yes, of course. Okay. Anything to drink? Are you thirsty? Would you like some nice water? I bet they have really nice water here.
Just some wine.
Oh, okay. Oh, ooh,
Not even-
Gus is fancy.
Gus isn't even awakened yet. Gosh.
Yeah,
And
got
he
to-
already knows the good stuff.
Yes, he does. So proud of my son.
All right. So, after a few minutes of waiting, the food eventually arrives and you begin to eat. You see them,
Yes.
they eat not hurriedly, but kind of with purpose, like they want to get this over with as fast as possible.
Pietro, don't choke. I know that you're rushing to get to the...
It's good
I-
food.
Yes, well, it's because they're hoping that they can all sleep with me. They want to really get to the sex part of the evening.
They're that kinky?
Do you say this out loud?
Yes, I do.
You see Gertrude and Karina kind of like look to each other, and Pietro just kind of like hangs his head low and he says, "Mars, how do you deal with him?"
I find his endeavors usually more funny than anything else.
I know exactly what I look like. Okay, here. Let me give you an example. Do you know the Raven Queen, Logan?
Vaguely.
You know how she has that porcelain mask?
Yeah.
And she has that kind of like dark demeanor to her?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that, but really fucking slutty.
Okay.
I'm picturing the Dice Queen from Lost in Random.
No, hold on. Raven Queen. Dungeons and Dragons, the Raven Queen. Here we go. So it's like a really slutty version of the Raven Queen. Here we go. So this without the crown, and it's a porcelain mask. And the dress is just very, very slutty.
Can you
Okay.
post that in the Discord?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
That's okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
There it is.
So
Hey.
he puts up with me because I provide great entertainment. You wouldn't know anything about it. I can entertain you four this evening as well if you'd like.
Oh,
No
good
charge.
God. Stop implying to people that we have sex. We do not have sex.
No, me and Mars don't have sex at all. God. I provide a very, very wholesome form of entertainment for Mars.
All right.
Very family friendly. But
After
you four, you guys can get the special treatment.
After you had finished your meals,
Mhm.
the waiter kind of leaves, and you hear a light click as the door is locked.
Oh.
Thornhead and Mars, give me Constitution checks.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Gus.
Constitution checks or saving throws?
Saving throws. My apologies.
I got a 5.
Okay, good. I got a 12. I got a 12.
So Mars, as you're just kind of listening to him talk, you feel your vision kind of tighten, and you see the blood vessels kind of like redden. Thornhead, you also feel this like turning in your stomach, and you watch as Pietro kind of stands up, and he just kind of walks over and puts his arm on Gertrude and Karina, and says, "We didn't want to have to do this,
I
but
didn't make it?
no, you did not succeed.
Damn it.
Is it poison?
You don't know. You're unaffected because you did not eat."
No, but Gus ate.
Oh yeah, give me a Constitution saving throw for Gus.
Oh, no! Not our
It might be-
son!
Come on, Gus. It might be more potent.
He got a 4.
Oh.
No!
So
that's
Octavian,
normal.
you feel
Oh,
this,
wait, he
What?
you feel this
he
kind of like,
technically got a 5.
you got a 5,
because-
you minus 1.
What?
You feel Gus kind of like writhing in your skull.
You bastards. I'll stand up. Joke's on you, assholes! The only reason rat poison works is because they don't have they don't know how to vomit. Not only did you not poison me, but you made me skinnier, bitch. I'm gonna turn to Lance.
You notice Lance is actually also kind of like recoiling in his seat.
Okay, so he's a poison too. Who's not poisoned?
Pietro, Gertrude, and Garwina.
I'm gonna look directly at Pietro.
Why the... Mars just coughs out, why the boy, too?
He goes, like I said, he's new.
I'm gonna rip my mask off and just like throw it across the room, revealing my skeletal face. I'm gonna look Pietro right in the face, and I'm going to use unsettling words.
All right.
And I'm going to say to him, hold on one moment, I have to prepare my throat for this.
Oh boy.
It all's coming together now. Your sins, your lies. Your reckoning is upon you.
as I'm trying to cast Unsettling Words.
All right.
And then I'm
First
casting,
time I seen Octavian's actual face,
yes, my skull.
I'm like, what the fuck?
And then I'm casting Charm Person
All right. So he has
on
disadvantage,
him. Yes, hold on.
or does he subtract something from it?
I think it's disadvantage.
He has to subtract a D8 from his roll. I'm casting Charm Person at 3rd level, so it's getting him and his 2 friends.
Okay. What's the saving throw?
They need to beat a 17 Wisdom. So here, I'm
Fuck.
gonna... yes. They need to beat a 17 Wisdom, and then he has to... He has to subtract his... He has to subtract... Hold on one moment. Unsettling Words. He has to subtract a 4 from his roll.
Total of 16.
So he fails.
Okay. The other two, that's a 7, so fail. And that's a 9,
Good.
so fail.
They're all charmed.
So you watch as they start to pull their weapons out as you cast this. You cast your magic at them, and you watch as they kind of like roll their eyes and they just kind of like sheath their weapons. And he's like, I don't know what came over me. I apologize. And he goes quickly up.
Sit down!
He kind of you shout and he's like, oh okay, and he sits back down.
I move. Can
I'm
I
gonna pop
cast?
my head off. I'm gonna
one
pop
sec-
my head off and try to shake Gus out of my skull.
Oct-
Mars, save him!
I.
Am I
I.
able to move around still?
Oh no!
or-
Both of you are not incapacitated, but you are.
Give a. Do
You're
you have a
sick.
cure? I look over at them.
He goes, of course, and he like reaches into his pouch and pulls out a small green vial.
That should be enough for the 3 of us, and that I can try greater restoration on Lance.
He kind of brings it up.
The 3 of us, the 2 other people, and a rat, and then we can try for when Lance inevitably dies, we can give him greater restoration.
I meant to say Gus can get the greater restoration.
Oh,
All right, so he distributes the antidote. At first, you feel the pain kind of welling up in your stomach, and it makes you want to vomit. But after the antidote hits, you feel your breathing kind of calm, and your body return to you. And you just kind of stare them down as they kind of sit there awkwardly, kind of like looking like, well, what do we do now?
now you're going to tell me every little thing in that mind of yours that I wish to know. You will inform me. Don't punch him, because if you punch him, it will break the spell.
Yeah, I put my hand on Gus and cast greater restoration.
All right. Gus, you see him writhing, and then he kind of goes limp for a second, and then he kind of pops his head back up, and he seems okay.
Gus, please, I'll put my hand up for him to run back up my arm and crawl into my eye.
Also, Lance is probably freaking out about the skeleton man.
You see Lance, his eyes are wide. He's like trying to sheepishly get out of his seat, but he's just too weak at this point.
Lance, I'm
It's
aware
okay,
that you're...
boy.
Lance, I know you're young, and this is normal. This is what the adult world is. Skeletons everywhere. You have a few skeletons in your closet, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so just sit down, try not to vomit, and the adults are going to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Mars moves over to Lance to like rub his shoulders and try and help him relax.
It helps.
So I'm going to move over to Pietro. He's sitting in his chair. I'm gonna like kind of walk behind him and put my hands on his shoulders, kind of like a Disney villain.
All right.
I'm going to say, so, Pietro, please, I implore you.
I'm also picturing Gus just sort of peeking out of your eye
Yeah.
socket, giving him the death glare.
Yeah. Pietro, I implore you, as a friend of mine, a beloved friend, I'll kind of scratch the bottom of his, like, elephant chin. Funny thing, elephants and humans are the only two, elephants and apes are the only 2 mammals that have chins.
Oh,
Yeah. I didn't know. It's odd. Yeah, I'll say, please, Pietro, tell me, from friend to friend, who sent you here?
That would be
want me to do a
Mars's
persuade-
father.
Mars's father.
did he
That's-
order you to poison me?
He goes, not exactly.
He wanted you to get rid of us.
He wanted Mars back at home and his compatriots dealt with. The poison wasn't meant to kill, only to incapacitate.
Did you know that I was undead?
Kind of looks at you confused and says, "We were not aware."
Oh, so you thought I was quite alive. Now tell me, who tipped you off to the undead man here in town?
That would also be Mars's father.
Oh, so Mars's father hasn't.
So he might have something to do with
He
this
might.
skeleton plague.
Yes, he might. Tell me, Pietro, are you aware of the goings-on within your church about Mars's mother?
He goes, "She just takes care of us, as far as I know."
Are you aware that she's a necromancer, creating undead?
You see him kind of like lean back and kind of like take a leaned position and say, "I was unaware."
She's a necromancer.
I can attest to that fact.
She's been going around and making undead. And, that's not very kosher, I'd like to say, in regards to your faith. And you've been following a person who's willingly married to her. Don't you think that there's a little bit of a suspicion? At this point, I'm laying on the table in front of him with my elbows in his food.
It's half eaten, so still there.
Yeah. So, it's rather interesting that you seem to be following. How does that fare in regards to your faith? I noticed you never really cast any spells when dealing with the undead. Has your connection to your god been severed because you've been mingling with the enemy?
He kind of looks to you and says, "Things have been difficult, yes."
Oh, I'll kind of hold the tip of his trunk in my hand and
Mars
pet
does. Mars does kind of perk up in that, and he's just like, I hadn't even realized you weren't casting spells. I thought you were just being brutish.
No.
I can still cast spells, it's just...
He needs a little bit of some help. Oh, can't quite get the spell up all the way.
He just kind of shoots you a sideways glance.
Oh, yes. And you two, the twins. What brings you into this? I noticed you weren't poisoned.
We just
Are
follow
you aware
orders.
of this? Oh, you're just following orders. Oh, that's too bad. Normally when you follow orders, from what my experience, when people follow orders blindly, they tend to get themselves killed. Pietro, darling.
Mars stands up and steps away from Lance just for a second and steps closer to Pietro and the twins. And just goes, and you've never thought even for a second to question why my father would want me poisoned and dragged home against my will.
Not even that. Questioning how your father's even aware that there's undead in certain places. It's almost like he's been tipped off to it.
Sorry.
They just kind of like look to each other and look at you and say, "We never thought about it."
Almost, Mars. And I'm kind of just pulling away from the conversation. Almost like he knows the person who's been making the undead. Who is your mother. Who...
Yes, as you've spelled out already.
No. And if your mother was responsible for the undead here in town, then that means that she was the one who communicated to the woman in the dream. Which means that she could also...
The woman did mention that it was a woman who spoke to her, didn't she?
No, she just
Did
said
she
someone.
say it was someone? But it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is that it was an undead. It was created, and they were sent here to dispatch it. Which means that it could have been your mother who gave her the knowledge to make the undead, And if my other theory is correct, that means that your mother is also the one that made me the way I am.
But how would she then? But then, how would my father not know about you?
Maybe he does. Or maybe he's
But wouldn't he have
maybe
warned them?
well no,
Them
maybe
about it?
maybe your mother doesn't know that I exist. Maybe I can't remember my past. Maybe something happened to where the reason why I have not been pursued is because she is unaware that maybe she thought she did away with me.
Maybe she
But
thought you were a failure.
exactly.
They kind of look to each other. So what happens now?
Oh, I'm not done
Well,
with
in
you.
ideal situations, we persuade you to turn against my father.
In an ideal situation, is there more wine in the room?
There's still a full bottle.
Is this poison, Pietro?
Because it was just the food.
It was just the food. Excellent. I pour him a glass. Drink, please.
He takes it and just quietly sips it.
All right, Pietro. Have another, and I'll just pour him another glass.
Kind of looks a little confused and continues to
Oh,
drink.
please, drink your full, Pietro.
Are you
Drink your
gonna
fill.
make him drink the whole bottle?
Yes.
All right. After maybe a couple minutes, you can see he's visibly rocking back and forth. His eyes are a little glazed over. He's drunk.
Or Lexodon, you have a very small tolerance, or this is very powerful wine.
He had been drinking prior to when you began to.
Is there any more wine?
There's a couple bottles.
All right, please, you two, drink up.
Oh no.
I'll put the 2 bottles in front of them.
They begin to not chug, but quickly drink the drink.
Yes, please. Yes.
They'll get alcohol
Mars.
real quickly.
That's fine. They have no problem poisoning others. Mars. I want to know, because I know what I want to do to them. But what do you want to do to them?
Like I've said, I would ultimately, ideally, want to turn them against my father.
Turn them against your father. Not kill them.
No, I get the sense these ones might have just been misguided.
Pawns.
Yeah.
Octavian, how long?
Yes. For an hour. As long as nothing harms them.
At this point, you
Does
see
alcohol
Lance.
harm?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was bringing up. Doesn't alcohol harm them if they're poisoned?
No.
It doesn't
It
harm
doesn't-
them, it just sort of just addles them.
It does anything that does damage but alcohol doesn't do damage. Lance, darling.
You see
Are
Lance.
you feeling better?
He's fallen out of his chair and is like holding himself.
Is he paralyzed?
He does appear to be paralyzed.
He's fine. If it was only supposed to knock us unconscious, then it won't actually hurt him.
Wait, but we gave him some of the cure.
Oh, I thought you gave that to Gus. My apologies. No, he's not writhing. He's just kind of sitting there quietly,
Lance,
kind of studying.
Lance. I mean you no harm. None of us in this room, at least not any of us, but your proteges here, mean you any harm. Your faith is probably shaken at this point, wouldn't you say?
He goes, I didn't think they were like this. I had only heard that they took care of undead, and I thought.
How did you join?
It was, well, my father told me to get a job, so I got a job.
You became a cleric.
'Cause it seemed like, they were doing good work and they made good money, so I thought, why not?
Are you a cleric? Can you cast spells, or are you merely just muscle?
No, I'm just muscle. I haven't been blessed with powers yet.
All right, I'll put my hand on his shoulder. Then I think this is a good awakening, a way to reassess your life choices, to do something better with your life.
If it helps you feel any better, our teachings and our and our doctrines, they are sound and based in true faith. It is just my father who is twisted by his own greed.
It's the sick corrupt that lead their temple that are doing this. At this point, I'll put my mask back on so he's not talking to a skeleton.
Because, yeah, I'd also like to remind Mars that Octavian, that Mars is still very devout and faithful.
Yes, and we cherish that, Mars. But this denomination of your faith that your father is spewing is not one that we should be helping, but instead destroying. And maybe from its ashes, you can raise up a much more authentic one in its place. Now tell me, Pietro, through that stupid haze of alcohol, tell me, if the poison had killed us, what was your plan?
Well, the poison wouldn't have killed you. It would have paralyzed you. We would have done away with you and the owl, and then we would have taken Mars back to his father.
Do you know why my father wants me back so urgently?
Yeah.
He did not disclose that information. He just said, by any means, bring him home.
So he's home.
Yes. He is waiting at the local estate. Not the local estate, I'm sorry. At the home base.
Well then, Mars, I think we have the perfect opportunity to get you back home. They're expecting you, are they not?
But we have unfinished business here.
Oh, I'm not saying we leave anytime soon. I'm just saying that we make sure that they know that you're coming.
Octavian,
Mm-hmm.
can you drop the charm?
Why? It's keeping them docile from attacking us.
It's true. I mean, I don't mind fighting. Wait, do we have my weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have your weapons. They didn't
Good.
confiscate
Yeah,
the door.
because Octavia said that we couldn't bring weapons in here. But
Most establishments don't allow weapons into, restaurants.
You get
You
the feeling
lied.
you get the feeling that the priests pulled some strings
Oh.
and they didn't think you guys would be much of a threat, so they allowed you to keep your weapons.
Cool.
Then I just let them know. I'll tell you this before we drop the charm on you. If you fight us, you will lose, and it will be a horrible, horrible loss.
Yeah. I'm going to. Yeah.
No, and I'm not done. I'm not done,
Okay.
Octavian. Your best bet, because I get the feeling that my father and certainly my mother, if they sent you here to retrieve me, they consider you disposable. Because they would have known that if they needed me so urgently and to have such drastic measures used against me, they would have known I would have fought back. So they consider you expendable.
Yes, they do.
And on top of
Good
that,
point.
they are abusing your faith. So I'd like you to think, once this charm is dropped, whose side you'd like to be on.
I'm going to psychically say to Pietro in his mind, I am the physical embodiment of your faith's failure.
Make an intimidation check. Both of you.
Yeah. 19.
All right.
9.
9. So Mars, you see him kind of just look at you and smile, but then he kind of turns to Octavian and you see his eyes kind of go wide and he just kind of like, the smile fades to a kind of a grimace and he just kind of nods and says, we won't fight you if you drop whatever charm spell you put on us. We will return to the home base and inform your father of the current situation, but I cannot promise.
Only tell him that you met with me and you had a nice dinner and then told me my father wanted me home, and that I will be back shortly as soon as my business in this city is done.
He just kind of nods and says, I can do that.
And if you remain faithful to our cause, I can guarantee that the three of you will have strong positions in the faith once I rebuild it.
Let's not reward them for their insolence just yet.
I'm trying to get them on our good side. Should I roll
Yeah, well.
persuasion?
Yes, roll persuasion.
God, all of my intimidation and persuasion is so low.
Well,
Natural
that's bad.
20.
Oh wow.
So he kind of just nods and says, we won't discuss what we discovered here. But we will inform your father of the information you've given us. Are we free to go?
You're completely free to go.
I'll drop the charm spell.
Drop it, and you see at first Gertrude and Greeny kind of like tense up, like they're expecting something. Then they kind of relax, and they both kind of look to each other, and they look to Pietro, and he goes, "We'll be leaving now." And he kind of turns and heads to the door, which he tries, and it is locked.
Oh no, Pietro, the door's locked. What are we going to do? Oh.
You watch as he kind of like twists it, and you hear a clank, and it breaks, and he just kind of throws the door open.
Oh.
Yeah, because he's drunk.
Yeah.
And you see two waiters kind of like standing there, kind of panic and run off.
Pietro, you still have to pay for dinner.
He kind of turns to you and tosses you a bag of coin.
Oh, thank you. I'll just leave it on the table. This is for dinner tonight. I'll actually, on one of the serving platters of one of the waiters, I'll be like, this is for dinner tonight. Everything, if there's more than enough, divvy it amongst yourselves as tips.
And also for the door.
Yes, also the door.
You go, thank you, and they kind of like disperse. And you watch.
Also, I'll walk up to one of the waiters, and I'd like to say that your food was
The wine was exquisite, and
the wine was exquisite, and the food was great.
the vegetarian platter I had was excellent.
It gets 5 rat hand pats, which is a very high number.
And then we make our way out.
Yes. Time to leave.
And you wanted me to dress fancy for that.
I did, actually. Did you see how intimidating I looked, dressed like this? Imagine what you could look like if you were dressed beautifully.
Skeleton! You're undead!
True.
All right, so you leave the restaurant.
Yes.
All right, that is where we'll end it for today.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we get to level up because me and Mars might have figured out where our whole essential reasoning for this campaign at the very beginning was who the fuck made Octavian an undead? Major milestone.
Yeah, that is a pretty extensive, major plot point in our arc.
I'll say you guys got to level up. So you go from level.
You
8.
got to eat at a fancy dinner, so
Yeah,
you just
you get to
kind of
level
get a
up.
divine inspiration.
Level 10, baby.
Yep, level 10. I think this is the first time I've ever made it to level 10 with a campaign.
Yay!
Ooh, hey. What do we got left? Intimidating presence. Ooh.
Oh no! Oh no!
I get magical secrets. Do you know what spell I'm taking?
Oh no!
What?
Dance Macabre.
Oh no!
Oh yeah,
Essentially-
now I remember that TikTok you showed us.
Yeah, it lets me make undead, but they don't. Once the spell ends, they don't persist. They go back to being dead bodies. But essentially, like I do a performance, they come up, and then they do what I want them to do, and then they stop being undead. Instead of making an undead, and then when the spell ends, they just still linger just uncontrolled as like an undead zombie.
I'm just picturing you just like we're in a battlefield and then you just start voguing.
Yeah.
I'm putting in the
Yes.
telegram meant for
105, baby.
Beginning at 10th level, you can call your deity to intervene on your behalf when your need is great. Okay. Imploring your deity's aid requires you to use your action. Describe the assistance you seek and roll percentile dice.
ooh. That'll be
If you
interesting.
roll a number equal or lower to that of your cleric level, your deity intervenes.
It's essentially the wish spell.
Jeez.
Um,
DM chooses the nature of the intervention. The effect of any cleric spell or cleric domain spell would be appropriate. If your deity intervenes, you can't use this feature again for 7 days.
It can
Ooh.
pay off, or it could just be just
Yeah.
something you
Your
try.
god's like, I'm not really feeling it now.
Otherwise, you can use it again after you finish a long rest.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
Other
end the
spell
recording
slot.
right here.